Hello everybody, this is Nabi Salam, also known as the Noble Player, and today I'm very excited to be talking about the fact that there will be a Nintendo Direct tomorrow happening at 3 p.m. UK time, and here in Cyprus it's going to be 5 p.m. And so I'm really excited to be talking about this. So, you know, one thing you have to know about me is that I'm essentially like a Nintendo fanboy. I grew up in Nintendo for almost my entire life, and when it came to the Nintendo Switch specifically, that's actually been my baby actually in terms of like the more recent, you know, generation of video game consoles that's been released out of in my entire life. I remember when I first bought it in early 2017, it was in between, you know, with Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I bought those two games, really helped me a lot to sell me on the Nintendo Switch, and just as time went on, several years from that point on and up until right now, I've been a huge fan of the Switch for pretty much my entire life. I was very dedicated to that console. There were so many like, you know, new and older franchises that I was familiar with that really made me, you know, with the older franchise made me love them even more so, and with the new franchises from Nintendo that really made me become a fan of them in the first place. And I loved how I was able to, you know, play a system like a Nintendo Switch where you can play it, you know, at home, take it on the go. There's so many great games I was able to play with my friends and family. In university, I used to join a Nintendo Society Club. We played Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and we played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, at university all together, local multiplayer. And there's so many things that I want to thank for. I'm so thankful for the Nintendo Switch, especially that I got to play so many different unique type of games with my friends and my family. A lot of ones that were very casual and a lot of ones that were very intellectual at the same time. And so I'm so excited that I'm able to talk about actual official Nintendo news happening within, you know, on my channel. And so the way this video is actually going to be played out as a predictions video is that I'm going to mention about, like, you know, the what could happen section, the what I want, and also the wild card. So the what could happen is essentially like what we see already from the Nintendo Switch library, the existing one, and what kind of follow-ups or sequels could be in place. Really, the more logical things that could happen as far as speculation goes. What I want essentially is going to be like the things that I would love to see come to the Nintendo Switch myself, that I would personally immediately buy day one. And it could be even like the most far-reaching ideas in the first place. And then the wild card could be like, literally could be anything. It's like even more insane than the section of the what I want section. And it's probably something that I don't think maybe a lot of YouTubers who talk about, you know, predictions videos really mention a lot. So it just could be a crazy idea. So let's start off actually with the what I want section, and I must apologize here a little bit because I just had my notes right over here so I don't forget anything that I'm going to miss out on here. So let's go start with the what could happen section. So in the what could happen section, I really believe that we're going to be actually getting anything with Metroid Prime 4. I do think we're going to be getting an announcement of some kind, maybe some kind of teaser trailer, or maybe it could be an actual full trailer down the line. I'm not really sure what that's going to be like because I do feel like, however, that if, let's say we do get a trailer for Metroid Prime 4 right now, or let's say for example in tomorrow, for example, then I do believe it's going to come to the current Nintendo Switch. If it does not show up now, it's going to be in the next Nintendo console, I guarantee, or the Switch successor down the line. I also do believe that we are going to be getting Metroid Prime 2 and 3 come to the Nintendo Switch. Now, whether that could be a double pack, whether that, I don't know if it's going to have the same remastered treatment as the original one that we got last year, that is yet to be determined, and that is yet to be decided. Another one that I'm actually looking forward, I actually think that will actually happen, is, speaking of which, I do believe next week is going to be Luigi's Mansion 2. So I do think we're going to get some more information about that game and try to justify the fact that why we need to buy a 3DS port or a sequel from the 3DS and make sure that, oh yeah, this is worth like $60, guys. So I do think that we are going to get more information about that. And I also do believe that we're going to be getting Luigi's Mansion 1. I think it's going to be a shadow drop. It will probably come over the Nintendo Switch. If it's not a shadow drop now, I do think it will come later on during the year, more likely. Or they could do one of those things where it's like, you know, they shadow drop, you know, Luigi's Mansion 1 on the same day of the Direct digitally, and then they will release a physical copy of the game, let's say a month or two later down the line. So I do think that's more than likely going to happen. I also do believe that we're going to be getting a brand new Mario Party game coming out. I know that there was, I don't know what the most recent like rumored title is going to be. I think they said it was like called Multiverse Party or something like that. Again, it depends how that's going to turn out, because usually with Mario Party games, they came out like every other three. They came out every other 3 years from each apart from one another. You know, we had Super Mario Party, we had Mario Party Superstars, and now it's, you know, in between those there was like, you know, 2-3 years. And I do believe we're all gonna probably have another Mario Party game. Whether that's going to be a brand new installment, it could be Mario Party 12, or it's probably going to end up being another compilation, just like Mario Party Superstars. I kind of wished though that with Mario Party Superstars, that was an amazing game, but it definitely needed a lot more content in my opinion, a lot more boards in my opinion, for that to actually really have more longevity in my opinion, because Superstars was absolutely incredible. So again, I think that's really going to happen. I also do think, actually I must apologize, let me just take a look again at my list, I am so sorry. Yes, I also do believe as well that definitely for sure the Dragon Quest, the HD 2D remakes are gonna happen. I don't know if it's actually gonna be only the third game. I heard rumors that it's gonna be like the first 3 Dragon Quest games coming over to all platforms. So there have been a lot of talks about this. Dragon Quest is celebrating its anniversary this year. I believe it's the 30th anniversary if I'm correct on that. So I do think that it would be the right time to release, you know, these remakes, or announce these remakes for a very soon release date. Especially since, you know, I remember the Dragon Quest 3 remake. It was announced like years ago. So I do think it is possible that we are going to be getting that announcement in the direct tomorrow. I also think, I am so sorry guys, I'm sorry for not being professional enough. Yes, I do think also as well, against my own wishes, we are probably going to get a new Fire Emblem game. I don't know if it's going to be a brand new installment, or I don't know if it's going to be a remake. I know that there's going to be like a Genealogy of the Holy War. I think that's like Fire Emblem 4. I'm going to be honest, I'm not too much well known in the Fire Emblem. The only Fire Emblem I played was 3 Houses, and I didn't really get into it, so just not really my cup of tea. But that's kind of what I'm thinking about right now on the top of my head in terms of what I think could happen. What I think, what I would want personally, so these are things that, like, for example, that I would love to see come in the Nintendo Direct, and I would just instantly buy day one. Nintendo, where is Twilight Princess and Wind Waker? Please, these are the last 2 Legend of Zelda games that you need to port over to the Nintendo Switch. I feel like we've been getting a lot of good things from the Legend of Zelda franchise for the Nintendo Switch. And I know that, like, for example, like, we had Skyward Sword, which was a pretty good remake in the fact that, you know, you didn't have to use motion controls and you had to use button controls. But come on, I mean, look, I don't want, I got it. I have like, you know, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess on the Wii U. But come on, like, put those games, port those games onto the Nintendo Switch. I think you're gonna get a lot more of an audience out there. You obviously, the Legend of Zelda franchise got bigger and bigger, especially with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. It's time, Nintendo. Please do it, because I do believe if it's not going to get mentioned in this direct, I think it will be mentioned in the next direct. I mean, and that's probably going to be made for like the next Nintendo console, the Switch successor, in my opinion. Please do that, in my opinion. Another one that I think it's too late for it to be announced, and I do think it's a bit far-fetching. Again, please give us Super Mario Galaxy 2 on the Nintendo Switch. I feel like Nintendo is just trying to like completely ignore Super Mario Galaxy 2. We had Super Mario Galaxy 1 in a package of like the Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which, by the way, now you can no longer purchase that game. You have to buy a physical copy from the secondhand market, and you actually have to like pay like hundreds and hundreds of dollars for that to even come out. And even then, like, that's not the most efficient way to play it, in my opinion. I do wish at some point that, for example, like if Super Mario Galaxy 1 and Super Mario Galaxy 2 specifically, they had their own standalone releases to be put on the Nintendo Switch, I would be ecstatic on board. I want my Mario games personally. I'm a Mario fanboy. I mean, look at this. Not over here. Right over there. Sorry. My Mario Odyssey poster right over there. Right. See, Mario Odyssey is like seriously one of my favorite games. Essentially, it's my favorite game on the Nintendo Switch. Please get Super Mario Galaxy 2. I'll be very happy about that. I have it on Wii, but I want it on the Switch. And again, also, one that I would like to see come to the Nintendo Switch as well. I want to see Xenoblade Chronicles X. Actually, that was from the Wii U. I want to see it get ported to the Nintendo Switch. We have amazingly a proper way to play the Xenoblade Chronicles trilogy on the Nintendo Switch. And with Xenoblade Chronicles, that's a franchise that I didn't even know what that even was. I played the first one, actually, the definitive version, before I actually played Xenoblade Chronicles 2. When the second one was launched in the early life cycle of the Switch, I fell in love with the Xenoblade Chronicles franchise because of the first game, and from then on, like, I was so obsessed with this, you know, with the world and the characters and the themes about it. It's just an adventure. It's kind of like these new Zelda games we get with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And I want to see a completion of, you know, the entirety of the franchise, the accessibility. So if we get like Xenoblade Chronicles X, that's obviously like, you know, the prequel before the events of the first game. not part of the overall trilogy and its own overarching story. But I would like to see Xenoblade Chronicles X just to have that completionist value inside of the Nintendo Switch collection that I already have and just keeps on growing. Another one that I think I would like to see also come to the Nintendo Switch as well is actually Kid Icarus Uprising. This is a game that came out on the Nintendo 3DS. It was actually one of the best, one of the more beloved games on the Nintendo 3DS for a lot of users. And I think that Kid Icarus definitely deserves a bit of representation from the Nintendo Switch. We've seen how Nintendo has been very successful with the Switch, how they're reinvigorating a lot of the more niche franchises into becoming, household staples. We saw Fire Emblem, Pikmin, Metroid, which in Metroid I'm so happy gets a lot of love in my opinion, and Kirby, to an extent actually. They've become a lot more prevalent nowadays in a lot of the marketing and a lot of promotions when Nintendo makes these events now. And I think making Kid Icarus, especially since you can only really see Kid Icarus as the character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, right over here. Right over there. I'm sorry. Right over here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get used to this camera, guys. But yeah, I would like to see Kid Icarus Uprising from the 3DS come over to the Nintendo Switch. I think it would very much benefit greatly with the control scheme, since obviously on the 3DS it's so tiny, and with the C stick it was very annoying. You almost got your palms actually hurt in a lot of the action gameplay from moment to moment. So I would like to see that one come over to the Nintendo Switch as well. And then I'm going to be talking about the wild card, actually. This is the thing that I think no one's going to be able to predict this. I think that there might be something that comes for Nintendo Switch Online. Now, that is a bit far-reaching. Obviously, with the Nintendo Switch Online, we have Super Nintendo, NES, Sega Genesis, Nintendo 64, Game Boy, and Game Boy Advance. So, what do I think? If, let's say, for example, they do announce something for Nintendo Switch Online, what would I like to see personally? I'm gonna say something that's a bit weird. Nintendo DS. I'll explain to you why. Now, with the Nintendo DS, I think a lot about, like, for example, the Wii U, for example. The Wii U was able to play, Nintendo DS games, and the Wii U itself is kind of like, like a draft of what the Nintendo Switch would end up being at that point. And I think with the Nintendo DS, it might be a bit hard to do so, because obviously with the Nintendo the Switch, you're gonna have to hold probably your Switch like as vertically, for example. And your Nintendo Switches does not come with like a stylus pen, for example, like a DS does. You probably have to sell those separately, more than likely. But I think Nintendo DS has a really good opportunity to grow on that platform. It doesn't have as many, strong exclusives in my opinion, but I do think it's one of the more unique ones. I do think that, for example, I would have said, GameCube should come to Switch Online. However, I do think, for example, that Nintendo is more interested in actually re-releasing the games, i.e. Metroid Prime Remastered, the first two Pikmin games, and the Thousand Year Door. The more wanting to take those GameCube games, remaster them, and then repackage and sell you to them for $60 instead, which I have no problem with whatsoever, as long as it's done really well, i.e. Metroid Prime Remastered. That was actually brilliant. But yeah, again, I think with Nintendo Switch Online, I just kind of hope that there's going to be a I do think there's going to be something. I do hope there's something really special with that going on. And I also do think at the same time as a wild card, and this is something that I think also could be far-reaching, because I guess it's a bit too late now in this Switch's life cycle. Give us a brand new Donkey Kong game. I'm telling you. I don't know. I heard rumors that it was going to be more of a 2D side-scrolling game, more so than a 3D one. And I think, for me anyways, I don't mind being a 2D for a Donkey Kong game, because Donkey Kong 64 on Nintendo 64, I don't think it's very good, personally, in my opinion, at all. I think the controls are horrible. So I've been making a 2D Donkey Kong game, i.e. Donkey Kong Country and new Donkey Kong Country installment, or it could probably just end up being like a Donkey Kong Country Returns from the Wii coming over, being ported for the Switch. That's something that I would like to see. Donkey Kong has not had an actual proper new installment or new release since Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on the Wii U, and then it got ported to the Switch. So again, I want to see something like that. I want to see something like that get announced, and that's pretty much it for this predictions video. I'm really excited to be watching the show tomorrow. Again, I don't know if it's going to be live or it could just be pre-recorded, but I am looking forward to those. I'm looking forward to actually watching the show in the first place. And again, this is going to be the last Direct, where it's actually going to be solely focused on the Nintendo Switch that we have now. Because at that point then, what's going to happen is by the next Direct, we'll probably be getting a lot of announcements for the Switch successor, or, let's say the next Nintendo console down the line. And again, I'm really excited to see where this is gonna go for tomorrow, for the direct. I wonder what you guys think of this video. Do you guys like my predictions? Do you guys not like my predictions? What kind of predictions actually do you have coming for the Nintendo Direct tomorrow? Hope you guys can tell me in the comment section down below. If you guys like more videos like this, talking about movies, video games, live streams, reaction videos, hope you guys can like this video. Hope you guys can subscribe to the channel as well. I really greatly appreciate that. And again, there's so many other things that I've been working on, so many things I want to be able to post on my channel, especially for tomorrow. Look out for the Nintendo Direct video that I'm going to be making as well. It's going to be me reacting to the presentation. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.